people will say, well, how do I know if I'm a nice guy? How do I know if I'm using covert contracts? The way you usually know it is that you feel resentful and victimized. You're not being appreciated enough. You're not getting back as much as you give. You're not being noticed. You're not being thanked. And if you're kind of ruminating about those things and feeling bitter and resentful, and if that starts manifesting in either passive aggressive behavior, which is, I actually did learn what passive aggressiveness was. It's when you express your anger in indirect kind of ways, like instead of saying, I'm mad at you, or I'd like you to do this, or I'd like you to stop, we poke at them, we jab at them, we embarrass them in public, we shut down, we don't follow through on our commitments, whatever. Those are passive aggressive behaviors. Or nice guys often can go into what I call a victim puke, where the stuff just builds up until boom. Everything we've ever rehearsed in our head that we wanted to say because we're so resentful just comes out. And I remember when I was doing most of my work and when I wrote No More Mr. Nice Guy, I was in my second marriage. And I had to learn a lot. I had to grow up a lot. And I remember I'd have one of these victim pukes with my then second wife. And she when all was said and done, she said, like, how long has this been bothering you? I'd go, I don't know, 6 months maybe. And she go, it never crossed your mind to say something about it? I go, no, not really. And really, it hadn't. It never crossed my mind that maybe I could say, hey, this bothers me. Or, hey, can you do this different? Or, hey, can you stop doing that? Or, hey, can we talk about this? It just built and built and built. That's a pretty clear sign that you're a nice girl or a nice guy, that all these things you do for other people actually start taking a toll. They start building up in terms of resentments and perhaps rage and frustrations, and they get manifest in those passive aggressive ways or in the occasional victim puke.
Okay. So say somebody's listening to this and is realizing that they exhibit some of these traits of a overly nice person. What are the first steps in figuring out how to, start expressing healthy emotion?
Okay, that's a good question. And I'll tell you how I started. And I found that this seems to be a pretty good starting place. And I mentioned that I went to a 12-step group and I didn't know where else to go, but my wife was telling me, you're a sex addict. And so I thought, well, I don't think so. I'm not having very much sex. I'm not sure how you followed. But so I went to this 12-step group for sex addiction, and it was all men. And it met like at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I was in my early 30s at the time, and I went, and I did quickly find out I wasn't a sex addict. But for the first time in my life, I had a safe place to just open up and reveal me, to talk about me, both my hurts, my pains, anything that I repressed, behaviors I'd never told anybody about, thoughts and impulses I never told anybody about. And I actually got excited about getting up once a week, to be at this meeting at 6 a.m. in the morning to just reveal me and talk about me. And soon, right at that same time, I also got with a therapist that I started working with maybe 6 months or so later. I got into a men's group that I was in for 4 or 5 years. And I'm still today in a men's program I've been in for 3 years. And the number one place to start is go find a safe person or a safe place and start revealing you. Now, this does a few things. One, it lets you start releasing that internalized, unconscious toxic shame, that core belief that I'm not okay, I'm not good enough. Now, I found, I'll just distinguish, I found in nice guys, and I'm sure it's true in nice girls as well, there are two types of nice guys. One is I call it I'm so good nice guy. The other is the I'm so bad nice guy. I fit in the I'm so good nice guy category. I think I do everything so well, everybody should think I'm great. Now, deep down inside in this really dark, tightly locked box is my toxic shame that I work really hard to avoid ever having to feel or experience, the sense that I'm not okay. But that's why I work so hard to be good, is because deep inside, I don't feel okay. That's the I'm so good nice guy. If everybody got to know me, everybody would love me. The I'm so bad nice guy is often the guy that started rebelling or acting out oppositionally defiant behavior at a young age, maybe started drinking, doing pot, dropped out of school, fucked up a lot. And then maybe, got married or had a kid or found Jesus or got in the military and they got their life in order. But now they're trying to be a nice guy, but deep inside, they still think if anybody gets close to me, they're going to find out how messed up I really am. So that's the I'm so bad nice guy. So by finding a safe person, a coach, a therapist, a group, a 12-step program, a minister, a rabbi, whatever, and beginning to reveal yourself, you begin to release toxic shame. And that is so unburdening, so liberating. And you start getting more accurate feedback from a safe person as to who you really are.
Yeah.
And you might say, I'll give you an example. I was leading a men's workshop several years ago, and there was a guy in there, early 40s, African-American, and he just carried so much toxic shame. And so during this workshop, I just asked him, what is your deepest shameful thing about you? And he told a story that when he was like 14, he stole a car stereo. And because of that, ever since, he's just believed he's the most terrible human being. And like all the other men in this workshop looked at him. It was a small group, about 8, 10 guys. And they said, really? That's it? We all did stupid stuff when we were 14. That's like probably small change. And like he got accurate information that doing a stupid 14-year-old thing did not make him a horrible person. And that one thing was just liberating to him, he could quit beating himself up for being this terrible person. So we get more accurate feedback as to who we are. By revealing ourselves as safe people, we also get to practice being honest. And that was such a big thing for me. Nice guys think we're so great, we're so this, we're so that, give us a parade, give us confetti, whatever. But the truth is most nice guys are extremely dishonest. We only reveal what we think, you want to hear. We hide anything that might get the negative reaction. We twist the truth. We leave it out. We embellish it. We misdirect your attention. And so one of the first things I realized I had to do was just start being an honest person. So being in a safe environment let me practice telling my entire truth with people that weren't going to like overreact or abandon me. That then let me begin practicing it with the people who I was most afraid of overreacting or abandoning me, family, partner, good close friends. And so having that safe place lets us release shame, get more accurate information of who we are, and it lets us practice being a more honest person. So that is where I recommend people start.